Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We are almost at the line. The starting line of Impulse Summit, September 27th through the 29th in Charlotte, North Carolina. A couple of days away. Ready for restoration. If you are, we are. Joel 2:25 said it is time to restore, revive, and resuscitate. And that is what's going to happen in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have so many different off-site events that we're going to be having. We have our Impulse MIM. We have our Pulse Power Breakfast. We have our Sunday Pulse, our Men on Pause, our Cream Awards, the release ceremony, our POP, which is our Popcorn on Purpose event. Now, this is a 3-day educational experience that will restore you spiritually, personally, and professionally. It's going to be an experience for educational sessions, main stage workshops, interactive hands-on classes, a VIP party, a spiritual enrichment gathering that you cannot afford to miss. September the 27th through the 29th. Now, we are saying we're looking for our future professionals. If you know one, for 1 day for $75, 2 days, $99, and they both come with a swag bag. And so we are saying, future professionals, we believe in you. Where are you? We're looking for you. Now, I'm going to say this for our main stage and for a young lady that has been a sponsor for us for the last couple of years, Miss Kai Smith, the trauma of trichology. She has a main stage presentation that she's going to be doing, talking about shifting perspective from hair loss to health loss, increasing your revenue, and how to stand on the front line as a health advocate. Now, so many things that's going to be happening. We said if you want to get in the room, you can do so. It's not too late. If you want to take classes only through our class pass for $2.99, that's networking, nightly knock-in, our Sunday Post, our spiritual enrichment gathering, intimate classroom settings and workshops, and more. You can do that for $2.99. Now, if you're looking for a matchmaker, we have one for you. You say, hey, I want to get to Impulse Summit. I'm not quite sure how can I get there. This is how you can do so with our matchmakers that will cover the incentive. That means the incentive is powered by our partners, our core specialists, and our kingdom brands. They see you, they want you to be in the room. Where alignment happens, the divine strategy is released, and where your next level is waiting. But let's be real, life has been lifing, and you're ready to invest with something in your wallet doesn't match your hunger. But that's what we come in at with the matchmaker bonus incentive. If you're interested in doing that, it's not too late. Just simply inbox us or go to impulsesummit.com and let us know why you need to be matched with us. Now, during this time, we're talking about restoration. And if that's you, if you have been burned out, if you're tired, if you're not knowing where you need to be next, come on, rebuild with us, revive with us, and resuscitate and restore with us at Impulse Summit. I am super excited about this beautiful young lady that's going to be joining us on this podcast. I am your visionary founder, Miss Micheline Barber of Impulse Summit, and this is 7 years. 7 years of impact, 7 years of empowerment, and 7 years of motivation. And we are super excited about our 7th year. It's a year of completion, and all that means is take a deep breath and start all over again. This young lady has been with us multiple times at Impulse Summit, and she's bought the energy, the spirit, the love, the passion every time. Such a humble spirit, but yet a giant in everything she do. Y'all, please welcome to the seats of the podcast Restore, none other than Miss Vanessa Harper. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes. How are you doing?
Absolutely wonderful.
Wonderful. We are excited about having you here. I was telling them that you have been with us for a numerous amount of years, and you've been in different aspects from decor to hospitality to POC. Like, you've been some of everything. Tell us about how many years it's been and your experience with being with us before we get into who you are all the way.
So is this year 9 or 8?
7. Year 7.
Yes. Okay. I have been to 6 out of the 7.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I like it. It's like you only missed one, but you didn't miss it. It don't even seem like you missed it, but
right.
So
I didn't feel like I missed it. Yes.
Right.
So I've been to everyone. Yes.
This is Vanessa Harper, and she is out of South Carolina. And she has an amazing organization called Loving Me, Inc.org. So tell a little bit about who you are, where do you reside, how can they be just a part of your vision before we go into some questions about you.
Okay. I am Vanessa Harper, and I have been in the industry for 37 years. Um, and it has been a great joy to be a part of the beauty industry. And recently, last year, I kind of had some health issues with my back, and it allowed me not to be able to work in the salon like I normally do for the last couple of years. And so at that time, I had to pivot. And 10 years ago, God, as I was a single parent and raising my daughter, I started a nonprofit called Loving Me. And because I was a single parent, I had only one daughter. I wanted to have her amongst other young teens and girls as they were going through challenges in life and learning how to become young ladies. And at that time, I also serviced a lot of my guests were younger teens and teenagers. And as we know, our chair is a ministry. So the ministry actually started there behind the chair. And 10 years ago, when I started the nonprofit Loving Me, it was for the young ladies to help them along the way, to help them be nurtured, empower them, help them with self-esteem, help them navigate through some of the challenges that they had in school, things that they couldn't talk to their parents about. I created a safe space for them. And so I was able to pivot after not being able to be behind the chair and fully get into being in the ministry of helping these young teens to become empowered, give them some sense of purpose. And also my main thing was to engage them in culture events so they could be well-rounded and they can have limited possibilities of things that they can do in the community and to become powerful young ladies.
I love it. So I'm just steady writing down a couple of keywords that I've been reading about this, because with you being in the cosmetology or beauty industry for now 37 years, right? I mean, I always say that we don't retire, we slow down, right? Or pivot to certain things.
We always, right.
We always kind of you beautify someone. And that's the way that I see when I wrote down the word. You give them character, you show them about how to be comfortable in their skin, and you give them the courageous abilities of knowing that they should love themselves. I like that because a lot of times young ladies will sit in that chair and they have lack of confidence, and they don't feel like it's a safe space, and they don't know how they can have a general conversation. But I like the fact that what you have allowed, or what God has allowed you to do, is have a vision for young females. And I see here in between the age of 13 to 18. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now I've noticed too, not only are you doing that, you've also extended it to other young ladies, you know what I'm saying? Like in the 25 or 30 years old.
Yes.
So that's why, even though it stops at a certain time, according to this, but I have seen the reflections of you showing individuals that they love themselves. And I'm really grateful for that. So the beauty of the beginning, and then we're going to talk about this. So let's take us back as a young Vanessa. How did you first fall in love with beauty and style? Because I've bought some clothes, purchased some clothes from you because you had your boutique. I've always loved everything you wear because you like to be dope every time. How did you fall in love with the beauty and the style?
I fell in love with from my nana. She in New York. And she was a lady of class.
Uh-huh.
And my mother always sent me to New York every summer. We lived in New York and then we moved to Columbia, South Carolina. But every summer I went back to spend time with Nana. And she always took me shopping for my school clothes. She was a lady of class. She wore a fur coat.
Yeah.
She was a first lady. Her and Papa were pastors of a church. And she
Okay.
was the mother of the church, and she started with the young ladies and the ladies that came to church and grooming them and showing us how to walk, how to talk, not to be loud, not to chew gum,
Right, right.
all of that. And so, New York was a fashion industry. And so every summer I would go to New York to get my school clothes, and she would take me shopping. And so I always had the latest styles. She groomed me to have a love for clothes, and
I
it
love it.
just never stopped.
It never, yeah, once it's embedded
It never
inside you,
stopped.
no, so looking at that, your nana taught you how to really have the style and the class. And I think that's also
Yes.
going into your nonprofit, because a lot of young ladies need to understand all the things that your nana taught you and all the things you said, from chewing gum. They don't think the simple things of chewing gum to leaning on the counter, is
Yes.
important, about how you show your character to someone that, especially seeing you for the very first time. I think that's dope.
Absolutely. And it helps
Right.
me show up in the room.
That's
So
it.
she had the more confident than anybody I have ever known. And she would make a statement when she walked in the room. So she said, "Don't
I
walk
love it.
in
As
the
they say,
room."
as the young folks say, you're
She
right.
said, she said, "Don't walk
She
in the
really-
room unless you own it." And so I said,
I
"Oh,
love it. And you do that.
yes,
You do that every
yes,
time. So you
yes,
launched your very first salon in the early 90s in Orangeburg, South
yes,
Carolina. What
yes."
was driving you at that time to open up your salon?
What was driving me was I was in college, and the ladies were, we are 20, 18, 19 years old. And I started in high school. So once I
Mm.
graduated from high school, I was already licensed. So a majority of my high school friends, I was already doing their hair in the kitchen. So once I went to college, they were there also. So they
Mm.
had beauty salons in the dorms. So I took my uh, license, and I made to set up shop in the salons in the dorms.
Fact.
And
Fact, right?
yes. So I started right in the dorms and college, and I started doing more here than I did college.
Yeah.
Until I said, "Wait a minute, I'm in school," and I thought I was, you know,
Supposed to
in
be
a
right. So
salon
this,
every day, booth rent free, because it was set up right there in the dorms. So I was making hand over fist money with no booth rent. And I just had a love and a passion for making the ladies look good. If they're walking around on campus, they're away from home, they couldn't do their own hair. So I
right.
was there with the license. So they was coming to a licensed stylist to get a professional hairstyle.
See, that's what you call smart management right there. To do
Yes,
this and get this. So that was definitely a
yes,
great journey in the beauty
yes.
industry. So let's just go back a little bit. And so, did you know back then that your work was stretched beyond the chair into community impact, decor, and many other things that you're doing? Did you even feel like that at that time?
Well, go back to Nana, every time we had a meal, she would always make me set the table.
Okay.
So it started there. Everything
Okay.
started in the home, so I used to have to set the table. She used to make me set the table. We had to put the napkins, the forks, and placement. So I also had a love for being, setting tables. So, and it just carried
Mm.
me into, when we're in the salon, we have to decorate our own salons. So a lot of guests come in and they like what they see, and a lot of ladies, that's not their craft. And so
Right.
I was able to help the same ladies that were coming in the salon. I was able to start doing decor for them, going shopping for them. So I did a number of things right from behind the chair with the same clients that I had. I didn't have to go out and find anybody, because God allowed them to be in the chair for me to work the different ministries that I had.
So he just shifted them from one thing and just said, listen, let's keep pivoting every time.
Yes.
That's, dedication. And that
Yes.
means they trust you, because they can say,
Yes.
okay, if she can make me beautiful here and then she make my home beautiful, I know she can help my daughter, my niece, my, anyone that's a young lady
Yes.
with assistance and success. So I think that right there is unbeatable. So
And
you own
back then
multiple
we didn't
salons.
have social media.
No,
So
everything
it
was
by
about
word of mouth.
right. So with me, my aunt, my godmother, she did that. So she put me in cotillions and she taught me which fork to grab, when you're going out to eat, and how to be like a lady, how to be a lady when you come into the room. So I can relate to what you say with your Nana, because all I hear is Aunt Minnie saying the same thing, how to treat yourself, dress up, don't go out looking any kind of way. That is what people need to learn now more than anything, is that right there. So you own multiple salons. It never. What's this still?
It never goes away.
No. Yeah. So you own multiple salons and even served as an instructor, a board member, and an examiner. How did that level of leadership develop in you?
Well, when we become leaders, whether we know it or not, behind the chair, because we have people that trust us. They trust us to put chemicals in their hair, so we become.
You was never in the military, okay?
And nervous.
No, you're fine. So you own multiple salons and even served as an instructor, a board member, and an examiner. What did that level of leadership develop inside of you?
That level of leadership developed inside of me because we are leaders behind the chair. When we have several guests that trust us, we become leaders. And I was generally a born leader. We know we know how to lead.
Right.
We know how to lead from behind the chair. People, especially when you have several clients and then you become like, they just look at you different. They see more in you. And then when I was in school, I always chose to be a part of different things and wanted to lead. So I know I was born a leader.
That's good. That's good. Born a leader, because what people don't realize is that people are needing someone that they can lead and lean on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're looking for someone that exudes that leadership, because I always say the ships is the partnership, the leadership, the friendship, all these things here that combines being a leader and being able to say, okay, I can appoint her this assignment. I know it's going to get done. I think that is get
Absolutely.
It done. And that's what we have to realize now, is that get it done attitude as to why you are at Impulse Summit and you are doing the things that you're doing in your life, especially starting your nonprofit, Loving Me. That, again, if you're in the Columbia or surrounding areas, look her up, because you want to be a part of this amazing nonprofit, because that's what these young ladies need now more than ever.
Absolutely.
Before. Why do you believe continuing education is so critical in this industry? Because, again, you've been in Impulse Summit, I'm going to say 7 years. I'm not even going to say that year that you missed, but for 6 years for sure. Why is it so critical that you've been doing it 37 years? You are pivoting to something else, but you still find yourself continually educating yourself. Why is it so critical? Because some people don't think that it's vital, that, once they get their license, they're fine. Once I do this, I'm good. Why is it so important?
You have to surround yourself with education, because that's where you grow. And the more you know, the more you can grow. And it all started back with Dudley University, going to the EMS classes, the educational seminars. You all were a part of all of that, and everything evolves, and you want to be able to evolve along with what's going on. Being a trendsetter, you want to be able to keep up with what's going on. So it was always vital for me to keep up with what's going on and educate myself, and always come back and get the excitement to share with the clients what I learned. And so it was always exciting to me to go and be educated several times a year, and learning more in classes, and it just makes you become more a higher ticket item person.
That's it. Value. It's like
valuable,
that's how you bring the value, because you find value in going, and so you're now becoming yourself. You're becoming more and more valuable. So I was looking at the gas prices. The value is not just in the car, but it's inside the oil that you put in. You know what I'm saying? The gasoline, how you're burning it. So you're finding yourself traveling, investing, and pouring back into yourself for you to be able to pour into anyone else. And that's vital, that you're going out and seeking education. You're not wondering and waiting. I always wonder why people wonder and wait about what's next after it happened. And I was talking to a gentleman today, and COVID, if nothing else, taught us to always find more value in yourself, or find value in something that constantly elevates you in everything that you're doing. So what you're seeing and what you're saying is, hey, I've owned multiple salons. I decorate. I can do that with my eyes closed. I know how to do that. I can sell clothes and have a consignment store. I can now show young ladies how, when they look at themselves, they say, I love what I see. Yes. That is where, even young adults, and finding young adults like my age, I still say young, that is always a point where you can learn something new from somebody like yourself. And I think everyone needs to tune in into what Miss Vanessa is doing. So how did running Studio V for 10 plus years shape you into a businesswoman and a mentor? Now I can experience, I can take from experience of me being a salon owner for 14 years, but how did that shape you?
Like you said, going to back to education, the classes really taught you business. Yeah. And knowing how to run a business. And that helped me a lot with going back to the classes. They telling you how to gain clients, how to invest your money. It just teaches you more than just being behind the chair doing hair. I became well-rounded just from going to classes, meeting people, because you learn from other people also when you go to those classes, and you meet a network of people that will help you along the way. So I was always in the rooms meeting people that could show you how to do things. It showed me how to run a business, and I was able to use those tools and come back and use them in the salon and to run my business for 14 years.
That's awesome. I think too, looking at how you're going out and you keep fishing, and people don't realize the more you fish, the more you get better at it. So you get faster with it. You know how to be quiet in certain seasons. When you can talk. So that's how it is with fishing. You have to learn when that season is coming and learn how to ride that wave, so that you're not disappointed, or that you're not scrounging for what's next with that. So you became a true leader from a young adult to now leadership in the salon and behind the chair, and to what you're doing now. Yes. That is amazing. That is amazing.
If you're a hairstylist, a barber, a loctician, a braider, a natural hairstylist, if you touching hair, as long as you license, this message is for you. I want to talk to you for a moment. Chasing a recovery through gadgets and serums is never going to outperform a body in crisis. Why? Because it's considered health loss. Hair loss equates to health loss. Hi, I'm Kai Smith, founder of the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases, where we certify beauty professionals to become functional trichologists. Listen, I want to invite you to Charlotte, North Carolina. I got a conversation that is as real as it's going to get, because we have taken the courses, we have shown up to the trichology courses, yet we're still falling short. If you are touching hair, you are now responsible for keeping that hair on your client's head. And we have to shift our perspective from hair loss to health loss. So I want to ask you a question. What role do you play? Are you really a true health advocate and you understand the intricacies of going inside of the body to make a shift metabolically, to disrupt the endocrine dysfunction, the metabolic misfires, and the immune wars going on beneath the scalp behind every single strand that protrudes that follicle? Who are you? September 27th through the 29th, the trauma of trichology. The trauma of trichology is real. Some of us are shaken by it, and some of us are rooted in it. It's time for you to arm yourself with the functional truth and stop hiding behind conventional methodologies or your holistic topical treatments and saying that these things are going to work. Because if you don't move the metabolism, you're not going to move what manifests on the scalp and sustain the recovery. Because quite frankly, if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. If you're ready to increase your revenue and you're ready to stand on the front line of true health advocacy, then this conversation is for you. And I want you to meet me in Charlotte, North Carolina, September 27th through the 29th at Impulse Summit.
Yeah, that is one of our amazing sponsors and partners with Impulse Summit, Ms. Kai Smith. She has the main stage presentation on Sunday, and she will be in a classroom on Monday. So be sure to go by, get some information, and learn more about who she is and what she's bringing to the beauty industry. Something that we're all been talking about, and that's hair loss and health loss equals health loss. So Ms. Vanessa, out of Columbia, South Carolina, this is a young lady that owns Loving Me nonprofit, a nonprofit for young ladies in between the age of 13 to 18. I'm going to expand that number because I watch what she's done for so many people. She's also a young lady that decorates, a young lady that's fly always, from behind the chair to in front of it. When she walk in, she do, like Nana taught you well, on the room. So from the chair to the heart, Loving Me. Let's talk about this real quick. So you launched Loving Me Inc. with a powerful heart for those facing life-altering challenges. What sparked that vision for you?
Well, I realized that it was started for me. It started, God said, love everything that I created in you. Loving me was loving what God created in me. So I thought that when I did register, it was for the teenagers, but everything that you do, it always start with yourself. So it started with me learning how to love everything about me. Learning everything, we as women, we have insecurities and stuff, but God said he wants me to love everything because he created me. I want you to love what I created in you. So it started there. So I started falling in love with myself. And with doing that, I was, like I told you, Nana and Papa was ministers, pastors of the church. And so I knew how to seek God for everything. I knew how to pray. I knew how to, read the Bible, interpret the Bible. So it all started there. So love is the biggest thing that we need to do. So I wanted to share that love. I wanted to teach other young ladies how to love themselves so much so that they can be powerful young ladies with a purpose.
Yes.
And then during COVID, it shifted to lifting our voices in mental elevation. So that's where I started having conversations. It started having conversations with these young ladies, sharing, listening to them, being an ear, and then return, speaking to them from the heart to allow them to know that, I love you. You have to love yourself. And just started teaching them how to love everything about them, because we could be our biggest critics. And so you got to, even if I was picked on when I was in high school because I had knock knees, but I had to learn how to love that.
Right.
We had to learn how to love everything about it.
Everything. And I know now more than ever before because I was went to a comedy show, and Earthquake was saying how people are a lot more softer now. They can't take a lot of things that we do, you know? And so you have to meet people where they are. This organization that you're building is meeting young ladies where they are to understand that it's okay if you have not needs. Like, you know, make it the best. You know, it's okay if your hair is not long. Make it the best.
Absolutely.
So I think that's an anointing that you have on you with everything that you're doing. That is great. What does mentoring mean to you? Because I know a lot of times for somebody saying, Michelle, will you mentor me? I didn't really understand, you know, because I take that assignment very seriously. So why are young women such a critical part of your legacy with mentoring?
Having compassion. As when I was growing up, I knew my mother loved me, but I never heard the word until I was 42 years old. I knew that she did love me, but she showed the love in a different way because she was a single parent too. So it just taught me that I want to be able to show young ladies, no matter what your situation is, that you can become somebody. You could be who God created you to be. And it was very important for me, the way I shaped myself into knowing how to become who I am in God and to share that. Because a lot of these young ladies now, you know, just have different quality of life, different backgrounds, but that do not have to shape who you are. And so it's in my heart deep to have passion for these young ladies. Every salon, since I closed mine down, going into salons, I find myself, you know, mentoring the young ladies and gravitating. They always gravitating to me and coming to me. And I have those tough conversations. A lot of times people don't want to sit down and be that ear and listen to it. Sometimes they just want someone to listen to them and the reason with them. And that's a passion of mine. I want to be able to listen to these young ladies and just love on them and create a conversation with them to help them without fussing and them to know that I am here to love on them, help them along the way, and be that what they call me. I'm the auntie now, so I have so many nieces, nephews. So, and that's just with allowing them to understand how life is and how it can shape you to become powerful young ladies. And you don't have to allow your situation to become who you are. And I was able to just go to a lot of the classes and see you all as my mentors without you even knowing that. You, Miss B, Patrick, all those ones that came before me and paved the way. I was able to take those things that I learned from you all and take it back home and just shape myself from the things I learned and see how you all carry yourselves. And with me and God created me that person to be able to help others.
That's good.
And so I was able to do that.
That's good. It's the molding for me because, like you said, a lot of young ladies now, they don't have a person to speak to or talk to them. Constructive growth, not constructive criticism, but constructive growth, and being able to say, listen, I see beauty in you. You have it. Now let's do this step, and this step. So if you're listening out there and you have a niece or you have a daughter or you have, a stepdaughter, just anybody that's special to you, that's a female in between the age of 13 and 18, y'all please join Loving Me community. I'm seeing here where it says Loving Me exists because every girl deserves to stand in front of the mirror and say, I love what I see. That's where we need to pull together and bring these young ladies into the loving of themselves. And this is a community. This is a mentorship. This is not just where you're going to come and not be impacted. She's going to impact your life because of all the experiences that she has and had during her time of journey. So this is where we're saying, listen, I want my daughter to be a part of it. This is something I wish would have been involved. I thank God I had my godmother, but just imagine if I had a community like what you're building now to be introduced to show me what I have. I could imagine where I would be, especially being from South Carolina. A lot of times we don't have that, and we didn't have that. If it wasn't for you having a strong foundation or a great grandmother or something like that, that's where it comes in at. And I think that is really something that people need to tap into. Miss Vanessa Harper, lovingme.inc organization. Okay. So we talk about grace through grief. I know recently, because you're on our prayer group faithfully every day, and you are also a leader in that. You're also, having input on our different scriptures or our different Bible studies that we do. So recently you lost your husband of several years, First Sergeant Douglas Harper, who you describe as your greatest encourager, your greatest pusher, the one that's seen in you what you probably didn't see in yourself. What have these last couple of months taught you about love, loss, and strength?
Oh, wow. Without God, there is no way that I could be sitting here and speaking about it. It really shaped me for my strength that I have. The grace and mercy that was already planted in me kicked in, and I had to strive and continue to hold on to that grace and mercy, and knowing that the strength that God put in me, that I had to lean and rely on that. And like you said, the Bible studies that started 7 years ago was able to give me the strength to be able to carry on, even though that it was painful. I still had a foundation to rely on, and that was already built on the inside of me, and I had to pull and tug on that, and that grace and mercy that was on the inside of us in order to carry on. And like you said, my husband was a soldier, and I never was in the army, but he thought I was. So I became a soldier, and when you're a soldier, you have to have some strength. So through a lot of his strength, that when you become one, you carry the strength from the other half. So his strength kicked in also, because he was a strong person, and he was able to help me through times because of his knowledge of being in the service and being a leader. He was a leader. He was a sergeant, so he was a leader also. So he was able to help me when I felt like I was falling short. He would, come on, soldier. Come on, soldier. Put your boots on. And I'm like, so
I'm weak.
you
Hello,
couldn't
I'm
be
weak.
soft.
Right.
You couldn't be soft around that house. It was no point of being soft. So, it was just, I to this day, I still hear him telling me, come on, soldier, let's go. You got to, he didn't allow me to be weak. And so with that, and God's grace and mercy, I was able to, carry on and be able to have the strength that I have now.
That's good. Yeah. And I know that you're being carried on. Your favorite scripture is Philippians 4:13. That's what's going to carry you in, that all things.
Yes.
Right?
All things.
And all things, not some, it says all things.
All.
Right.
It says all.
And when for I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. And I think people don't put emphasis on the all. They put emphasis on the sometime, maybe not, but not all things. And that is an amazing life scripture for someone to adapt or adopt that may be going through something. And how we know that it's carried you in this season of grief and
Yes.
grace and mercy and purpose, that
Yes.
when you're adopting or you have adapted something that's a scripture, then it tends to pull and be placed in the right position right on time. Like Job
Yes.
25, it's the restoration and it's the restoring
Yes.
now that we feel in the atmosphere, you know? So what would you say to
Yes.
someone listening who have experienced maybe a personal grief, may have lost their passion for the industry, they may have lost their push, to keep their salon open or their salon suite, or they're just finding themselves in grief and they're not trying to reach out and do anything else besides lay in a world of weary. But you still had that vision that, to carry on. So what would you tell a person that through the adversities and the grief that you went through, that you're saying, hey, I have lost my husband, but I did not lose this. I did not lose my all things. So what would you tell a person from the experience that you've gone through?
You have to be open to allow God to come in. And actually, that was my prayer. God, restore me back to being whole again. And I was open to allow him to do it. We have to be open to God and open to allow him to come in and restore you back to where you be in an alignment with walking in grace, walking in his strength, walking in all the fruits of joy, peace, believing and trusting in the process. And it's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you're open to allowing God to come in, then he is going to do his part. But you have to allow him to be whole again. And that I was open to allowing God to come in and to restore me back to being whole again, and giving me the freedom and freeing me from all of those things that I was holding on to. The biggest thing now is being free and knowing what freedom looked like. Even now, I thought I had freedom. I was free, but God said, you don't really have the freedom until you're walking into your purpose. And now that I realized that the loving me was my purpose, the doing hair was my gift that he gave me, but my true purpose was to come in and minister and love on these young ladies. And I was able to allow him to come in and to restore me back to whole again, and being open to what his next was for me, because God has more for us. We just got to go to him and ask him for it, and he's going to give it to us. And he's going to give you the strategies. He's going to give you everything you need. And majority of the time, it's already in us. We don't have to go out and find it. It's already there. He's only going to allow you to see what it is that you have on the inside of you, that he placed there, and allow him to come in and shape and mold that and restore you back to the place where he has for you.
That's good. I know y'all listening. I know y'all can feel the spirit, because I just think back as me being a young lady, a young girl, and you go through trauma bonds and you go through different things, and all of the different phases of what God is bringing me through. And I was telling Krista that I said, God has me going through all 7 phases. And I was talking about the Job walk, and I had to really get to know who Job is and to understand what he went through. But he did not curse God. He still believed in God. He still trusted him wholeheartedly. He still opened up to accept what God had to say. Even when his friends was like, come on now, you sure you didn't do anything? You was still saying this, right? And restoration and restoring is so deep. And Impulse Summit and the future of just saying, okay, the first year was Make Room. Then we went through Reveal in 2020. And then we went through Stretch. Then we went to Breathe. And then we went to Believe. And then we went to Victory. And now it's Restoration. It's Restore. And every facet, I'm like, okay, he's breaking us down to build us back up, because he needs us to come to him. We gotta come to him, and
to him
until we
absolutely
surrender.
100%. So
We gotta surrender.
Yes.
We gotta surrender, and that's where,
Yes.
like you said, you had back issues and things like that because you didn't completely surrender to your full purpose of what God had you do. And it's like, listen, I need you to take these young girls. I
Yeah.
need you to mold them.
Yes. Yes.
I need you to show them, like your Nana did for you. I need you
Yes.
to now be the Nana,
Yes.
in this loving me. I need that part of you.
Yes.
So you'll be
Yes.
joining us again as a signature VIP. I am so excited to see you in the seats, also helping with decorations and also helping with just
Yes.
planning with Impulse Summit. You called and was like, I want to be a part. And I think that
Yes.
right there speaks volume, because a lot of people sit back and like, nah, I don't know. But you said, listen, I want to do this for you all. This is a gift, or this is a seed that I want to plant into Impulse Summit. And I don't want that to go even not mentioned to what you're doing for us, that you did not have to do that. But you was like,
Yes.
listen, I want to bring my gifts to Impulse Summit. Why do you believe Impulse Summit is so important for the beauty professionals? Because not only are you coming, you are now bringing another young lady for the first time that's coming, and she's excited.
So excited.
Yes, she's excited. I'm excited for her.
She's
Why do
so
you believe the
excited.
Impulse Summit is important for the beauty professionals today, in this time, at such a time as this, with the atmosphere and the shifting that's out there?
Because the industry is changing so much, you need to be in the room with professionals that is going to continue to shape you, to continue to allow this industry to become bring it back to what it was. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a professional industry, and we cannot lose the what we would stand on, like where
Yeah.
we came from.
Yes.
So we have to bring that back. Being in the room at Impulse Summit will change your life. It will give you the fresh breath that you need to go back into the salon and be excited. And it also, I mean, it's going to help you to help other people also. Help
Yes.
those that God has. We don't understand it. Those people don't land in your chair by an accident. So going back and getting restored, the stretch, like you said, the victory, all of those things going to Impulse Summit.
Mm.
When I got back to those chair, my clients felt it. They knew.
Yeah.
They was like, and they were excited. Look, oh, what you don't learn. And then they also know, oh, she about to go up on her prices. So
Yes.
you can do that because they know you
Yes.
being educated. So you, like
True.
you said, absolutely. I got new shears. These shears,
Yeah.
and I sharpen them up and be in their face. I got these
Yeah.
$2,000
Yeah.
shears. So they like,
Right.
oh Lord. So it just
It
it
makes a
just help
difference.
you. Absolutely. It helps you to bring enlightenment back to the chair, to the salon. The ones
Mm-hmm.
that don't even come, and they see you come back with excitement, they're gonna want to come with you next year. Let me
Exactly.
tell me what you got going on, and I always tell them, Impulse Summit, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta get in the room with the excitement and seeing other people is still excited about this industry. After
Yes.
37 years, I'm still excited. You
Yeah.
know, about I mean, I'm not able to go behind the chair, but I could pick up a pair of shears and cut sitting down.
All
But
day. Oh
I'm just
yes.
saying, all day
And you
long.
cold. And you
But
cold with it too. You
you
cold
just
with
got to be in the
it.
room to get the excitement, because and
Yes.
be
I
around the
tell
other
you.
people that's exciting, and
I tell
it's just don't
anybody, just
care. It's
be.
yeah,
It's
in the
contagious.
room. It's
It's
contagious.
contagious, because even the young lady who's come with you,
Contagious.
she was like, you know what? She tried to get me to come last year. And I'm like,
I
no.
did.
She said, but just being in the room at the
Yes.
regroup tour, she said, I knew I had to
Mm-hmm.
be there. And not only did
Yes.
she buy a ticket, she's like, no, give me the full ticket. I need this full signature
Yes.
experience. I need to be in the
Mm-hmm.
room. And I think that for sure changed her, but you had to be there.
Yes.
As a
And I'm gonna
woman
be
that
there
I
by her
look up
side.
to, yeah, and we got you right beside her. As a woman
Mm-hmm.
who, you're led by faith,
Yes.
style, service, grace, everything that you said, that your legacy had passed down to you.
Mm-hmm.
and all the things that you've gone through. What does restoration look like for you right now? What does it look like for you?
It restored me back to a place that I felt like I was lost from. And it brought me back to that great joy. And gave me a burning desire to keep moving, keep going. And that restoration and restoring you get lost for words because it's just a feeling. I can explain the feeling that it just brings on my inside, and it's a burning desire to keep going. And I know that I can't stop. I can't stop because there's more. There's more. There's more people to help. There's more people to see. There's more people that you can just help just from being in the room and your excitement. You know, people tell me all the time, your energy is just so good. You make me have energy. You know, you know,
people don't realize it's very contagious. I always tell people, if you don't want to see him, hear him, and know him, don't even come, because he jumps on you, he jumps in you, and then it's gonna go from one person to another. So it's electrifying to even have the experience of being in the room, because there's somebody that says, I've been, and then for it to be in the month of September, the month of birth.
Yes.
What people don't realize is they're sitting there in the incubator and they are holding their baby back. They got contractions. They want to give birth. Somebody wants to start a nonprofit. Someone wants to start how to handle continuously going through grief times. Someone wants to know that. But they're sitting there waiting on it to come to them, when the reality is you got to come to it. You got to move.
Yes.
You got to move. And that is where we're saying at Impulse Summit with restoration, like he's already starting. He had to tear us down through all the things that we've been going through all this year and these last, couple of months and so many things. But in that same time, he's saying, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to restore you back better. Right? Than you ever knew. So that's when you said it's undescribable, because it's the feeling that, as I tell people, I can't just tell you about Impulse Summit. You got to experience it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying it. I was like, listen, if you don't like it, I give you your money back. That's just how much I'm confident in what God is going to do for those who show up in the room.
Absolutely.
100%. Just how confident I show. So restoration is coming September the 27th through the 29th. You will not be the same. You will be able to see Miss Vanessa Harper there. 6 years strong. You will see some of her items for decoration. You will see how flashy gonna be at all the events. I need to tell her. I need to call her and tell her to bring me something. Bring me something. Bring me something. But this is where we say, be in the room. Get in the room so that you can release yourself and just surrender. So that you can say, loving me is something I can see myself doing. I can see myself leaving a legacy. So what legacy do you want to leave behind in the beauty industry and in the hearts of young women that you're mentoring?
Be open to change. Don't get stuck. And move when God say move. Sometimes we get move when God say move, even when it don't feel good. Because he's meeting you where your next place is. He's going to be there waiting on you. And sometimes we can get stuck in a place because we're in a comfortable environment. But we got to know that God has bigger and better on your next place that you're going to. But we have to be able to hear the voice of God and move when he say move. Because I learned that. You can't worry about nobody else's feelings. It's a God thing.
It's a God thing.
They ask you why, just say it's a God thing. And if they don't understand it, that's not your problem.
Listen, they ain't nothing I can tell you about.
When God say more,
they don't have to understand.
It's a God thing,
right? And you're
not gonna be able to understand.
I tell people now what I've learned now. That anything I've seen, quite a few people who I've just prayed wherever he liked, they just start praying. I mean, in the mall, in the store, on the streets. God says, time out for being ashamed of who I am. And so that's what we got to
Yes.
put aside and say, you know what, that pride to the side.
Yes,
Put that pride
absolutely.
to the side and come on into what God is going to do for you, because all things are possible.
Yes. All
things. He
Absolutely.
can give us all things.
Yes.
As long as we believe and trust in him.
And trust
Vanessa
in him.
Harper is amazing. I want you all to do me a favor if that's listening. I need you all to look up lovingme.net. This lovingmeinc.org. I'm so sorry. Lovingmeinc.org. Look up what Miss Vanessa Harper is doing that can assist you, your young daughter, your niece, anyone that's in your life that you care about and you love. Y'all need to be a part of this. So she's helping girls, young ladies, to love who they are, to love what they see in the mirror. You're getting mentoring, journaling, mental health help, all these things that she's building up for you and you. So if you say, I can't do anything with my daughter, she doesn't speak to me, this is a safe space.
Safe space.
This space here, Columbia, South Carolina, this is a safe space that you can find yourself being a part of by bringing your young daughter, your niece, anybody that you see that you want to bring. It's loving me is where you need to be. I like that. Loving me is where you need to be. So let's come on. It's restoration time. Impulse Summit, Joe 225 said it's time to rebuild, revive, and restore Impulse Summit, September 27th through the 29th. Off-site event, which is our boots on the ground, green event. We have an MIM, which is our Popcorn with Purpose, our PPB Power Breakfast, Sunday Post with Pastor Major Jones, Men on Pause, our Amazing Cream Gala Awards, and the release, something you do not want to miss. Hey, we said it already several times. Get in the room, get in the room, get in the room. $2.99 for all the classes you want to take, but at least you will be around individuals like Miss Vanessa Harper and like so many more powerful, hungry individuals for $2.99. What are you waiting on? So we said, listen, we have matchmakers, somebody who just needs to be there, but they don't know how they can. We're finding someone that can match you up. These people are our partners, core specialists, kingdom brand builders. They see you, they want you to be in the building, they want you to really release yourself into knowing someone is watching you and have your back. Impulse Summit partners, that's what $500 will get you. The match bonus makers to get you there. Cover your incentives for those who want to be there. And of course, you're going to sit in the seats beside this amazing signature. She wrote her name on it. Everywhere she go, you're going to see her name. Y'all going to know who Vanessa Harper is by the time she leaves there this weekend. So I'm going to have you finish this sentence at the end. This year at Impulse Summit, I'm expecting God to
move in upper levels.
All right.
You're going to move
upper levels.
Move in upper levels.
That's right. If y'all want to be a part of us, y'all come on and join us. Again, this is your girl, Micheline. You already got the band already. Micheline Barber, the visionary founder. This is something I always say to finish this sentence. I absolutely love you. And there is nothing you
can do about
it. Have an amazing day.
Lord have mercy. The whistle got them back. Live in the building. Yeah. I dance on my damn self. You ready? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Give me one time. Oh, I got my boots on the ground.